Hi, welcome to my channel Zazaline. My name is Janita, and in today's tutorial we are going to be working on this very simple pouch. It has a wide opening, it is fully lined, there are no pockets, it's very easy to make. I think you will be done in within 20 minutes. Not too difficult. It has the vinyl on the bottom, and I have a heavier cotton on the top, and nice zipper that will match the embroidery design I made. Um, so we are gonna be working on something similar. It has exactly the same pattern, but this one is for a girl, and we are gonna have a little bit more structure on this pouch. I will be using foam, and also in the back we are gonna make a hidden strap, so then you can use it as a purse, as a pouch. It will have more, it's gonna be more functional. Let's get started. Okay, so let's go over the things we will need. So of course we need a pattern, and you can find it on zazalinestudio.com, and we will need some hardware. So the zipper, I'm using a fun print zipper, zipper pull, and then because I am making a hidden strap in the back, so it has more uses. You can use it as a pouch, you can use it as a little purse. So we will go over that. So I need two D-rings and two swivel hooks. And just a note, the fun zippers that you see on this video, this one and the previous one I showed you, this one here, I will be carrying them on my website. It's gonna take me a while. So if you check back in about months, I will have the fun zippers, and I will have a whole bunch of zipper pulls like this one. Okay, so first let's take panel A. And so I do have two pieces, and I have the foam. So let's make, this is just a stabilizer for the embroidery that I did, but I decided to keep it in. So this is a sew-in foam, so it you can really iron it and fuse it to the fabric. So we are gonna do this part first. So we will go to the machine, and we are just gonna sew on the very end of the foam. So we want to attach these two together, and I made this one slightly smaller on the side, and that's okay. So I'm just gonna sew here and here, but you can do it the same. I just wanted the seams to be a little bit thinner. Okay, so you just want to stitch out the very end. You just want to make sure they are together, so it's easier to manage when we are sewing. So we have two panels, the front and back. So we can put this one on the side. Okay, so now we are gonna grab panel E, and that's the straps. So we will need two straps, and I already prepared one, so we can see how this is how it should look like. So I usually like to use my double-sided tape. So I will put it on the top edge and the bottom edge. And now it depends what kind of hardware you have. You can use a smaller D-rings. These ones are 1 inch, but you can use something smaller. It's up to you. Okay, so I managed to take the double-sided tape off, and now we will try to go in the midline. So I am kind of imagining where the midline is. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you pull both edges towards the middle. And so the strap is designed for a 1 inch D-ring. So if you have D-ring that is smaller, you will have to cut a little bit off. There we go. The other one is ready. Okay, so when this part is done, we can put it on a side. And now we are gonna bring the D panel. So the D panel is gonna go in the back here, and we are gonna have this strap. We will adjust it the same way. We will make it so it looks better, and then these rings will go in here. So this is going to be kind of like a hidden strap. So later on you can use it as a pouch, but you don't have to. You can always add a strap, and you can have it as a little purse. So let's work on this one, and this one is going to be prepped exactly the same way. So I'm going to use my double-sided tape on both edges, top and bottom, and then you're going to remove the double-sided tape, and you're going to fold the edges towards the midline. So again, I'm gonna take the tape off. Sometimes it takes me a while. It has to be glued very well, so you have to press down. I don't know if it's the brand I am using, but I struggle quite a bit to take the double-sided tape off. See, it's not sticking enough. So I don't know if you have a suggestion, if you have a brand that you like to use. I bought this one on Amazon, and I'm not 100% happy with this tape because it takes few tries before you actually take this off. So let's do one at a time. So now let's imagine the midline. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because it's gonna be on the other side. And we will fold the edge towards the middle, and you want to press down, and as you press down you want to clip it in place. Okay, now let's do the other side. Okay, and now we will pull the other edge towards the midline the same way as we did before. I'm using vinyl, so the vinyl is more difficult to work with. It's not as pliable as cotton or linen, but it's more durable. It looks nicer. So I usually like to combine vinyl with other types of fabric, because the vinyl, it's nice and smooth and it kind of stands out. Okay, there we go. So this is what we want to end up with. So now we are gonna see, so we don't want to go too high because we are gonna have a zipper here. So we need some space for the zipper, but at the same time, we don't want to put it somewhere in the middle because we have these hooks, and that wouldn't work out. So we want these hooks to end up somewhere in here. We need 1 centimeter, which is 3/8 of an inch, seam allowance on the side. So don't go too close. I would say about an inch from each side. And these little hooks, I would probably have about an inch from the top. Okay. And then we will place this on top, and I just noticed these ones are a little bit longer, so I'm gonna cut them off a little bit because we want them to come somewhere in the middle. We don't want them sticking out like this. So let's cut it off a little bit, and I would say maybe 1 centimeter. And the same thing here, about 1 centimeter. And actually what we can do, let's go to the sewing machine and we are just gonna connect these. So we are gonna sew at the very end, so we don't have to deal with the clips. Okay, so there we go. We just stitched on the bottom. Okay, so now we want to measure about 1 inch from the edge and 1 inch from the edge from the top, because we are gonna have a zipper here, and so the zipper is gonna fall down and we don't want these to stick out too much. So 1 inch from each side, and then I'm just gonna clip it in place. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So 1 inch from the edge and 1 inch from the top. So somewhere about here, let's clip it. So now we are gonna go to the machine and we are gonna sew at the end here. And we can do 2 lines, but don't go too high because this has to be covered. So I would just do 1 line at the very bottom and 1 slightly higher, just to secure these 2 straps. Okay, so now once this is secured, now we will place this in. And if you have fabric, just press hot iron. Just make sure these ones will stay. And now we are gonna put them back in and we are gonna cover up the bottom. So make sure the bottom is not sticking out like this. This piece is designed so it covers the raw edges. And now we can clip it in place. And we will go back to the sewing machine. And we are gonna do 2 lines. You will go 1 here and 1 on the bottom. Okay, so this is what we want to end up with. So we have nice clean edges. We did 2 lines, 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom. So now we can put this on a side. Now we are gonna take the zipper and we are gonna prep the zipper. So what we will do, we are gonna take about 1/2 inch and we will bend it down. So the good sides together, you bend it down. And we will take it to the sewing machine and we are gonna stitch from this corner towards the zipper teeth on an angle on both sides. And we are just trying to create this bend. This one could be done a little bit more, but this is what we are trying to achieve. We want to have a nice bend on both sides. Okay, so when we have this done, we will separate the 2 zippers. We are gonna bring back the panels and let's start on the front panel. So we want to place the zipper, the bend is gonna be on the left side, and we are gonna place it about 1 centimeter, or you can do 1.5 centimeter, about 1/2 inch away from the edge. And we will clip it in place. Before we do that, I like to have them nice and even. So if a little bit more is sticking out, just cut it off. Okay, and so the good side of the zipper goes down about 1/2 inch from the edge, and we are gonna clip it in place. And when we come to the end, we will do the same thing. We want about, this time we want about 1 inch away from the edge. So this is where we are gonna stop. Then we are gonna take our other panel, and this time we have the bend on the right side. And again, we are gonna start the same as here, about 1/2 inch. And at the very end we will leave 1 inch, so 1/2 inch here, 1 inch in the back. And now let's just put these panels together and make sure that the zippers are starting at the same. Yep, they look pretty good. Okay, because they have to start exactly the same. And then when we get to the back, again, we want these two and the same. So just put your clips where you're gonna finish sewing. And so now we are gonna take it to the machine, and we are gonna do just the edge, because I'm using my printed zipper. I want the zipper to show as much as possible. So I am gonna do about 1/8 of an inch, 3 millimeters from the edge. If you have a regular zipper, you want to go a little bit closer, not as close to the zipper because we are still gonna be sewing later on, but try to just attach the zipper to the panel, so don't go too close to the zipper teeth. Okay, so now once we have the zippers in, let's just double check again if they are starting at the same position. Yes. And they end at the same position. Very good. Okay, so now we can introduce a new panel, and this is B. So make sure you cut it on fold. And let's take one of the panels, doesn't matter which one, and we are gonna place the good sides together. And you just clip it in place. You are gonna take it to the machine, and you are gonna do 1 centimeter, 3/8 of an inch on the bottom. Okay, so once we are done on this side, we will open it up. We are gonna take the other piece and we are gonna place it down. So we have the good sides facing each other, and we want the, not the curved side, the straight side. And again, let's clip it in place. And we are gonna do the same thing, 1 centimeter, 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so once you attach the bottom piece, now we are gonna take it back to the sewing machine and we are gonna top stitch. So we don't want to top stitch here, we want to top stitch on the bottom panel. It's gonna look better. So we will put, in my case, bottom piece is vinyl, so we want to put it, we want to fold the top piece down like this. Okay, so we are not top stitching here, we are top stitching on the bottom panel. So we are gonna top stitch here and here. Okay, so once you are done top stitching on both sides, We are gonna place these two panels together, and in my case I have this little longer. I'm just gonna adjust that, and start with these ones. We want these to connect. And then we want the zippers to connect. Okay, let's do the same on the other side. And before we do that, we have to bend this so it's not out of the way. So bend it inwards and just put a little pin in there. And then do the same with this piece. And just put these D-rings down so you don't accidentally, they are quite far away, but still. And let's pin this. Okay, so it is out of the way. Okay, now we are gonna take this side, and again we want both of them. Okay, now we are gonna take it to the sewing machine and we are gonna sew on both sides, and we want to do 1 centimeter 3/8 of an inch just on the sides. Okay, so once we have the sides, we are gonna go on the bottom, these two cutouts, and we want to box it. So make them flat. Okay, now we are gonna go back to the machine and we are gonna do 1 centimeter on both sides. Okay, so when we have the bottom done, we will flip the whole back inside out. We can actually see how it's gonna look like. So push out the corners. And these sides should connect nicely. Okay, so there we go. This looks nice. And now we are gonna put this on a side. And we will bring panel C. So C is the lining. So we have 2 pieces of the lining. And we are basically gonna do the same thing what we did with the exterior panel. This one is gonna be much easier and faster. So you're gonna put the good sides together and make sure they line up nicely. Clip the sides. And we are gonna take it to the sewing machine and we are gonna do 1 centimeter on each side, just the sides. Okay, so now when you are done, we will go on the bottom, but we are gonna leave this much open. So we are just gonna do from here to about here. I'm gonna make some mark. So we will stop about in here. So don't forget to backstitch here and don't forget backstitch here on both sides. Okay, so we have this bottom opened. And now we are gonna do the corners the same way we did the other piece. We are gonna open it up, make it flat. And we will take it to the sewing machine, and again 1 centimeter seam allowance, 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so now when the bottom is done, we have opening on the bottom. That's very important. We are gonna take the exterior panel that we did, and we are gonna simply place it inside like so. So you want to make sure you have the good sides facing each other. And now we are gonna clip everything in place. You want to make sure the zipper is facing down. And you still have the zipper ends clipped on the bottom, so they are not in a way. Now we are gonna go back to the sewing machine and we are gonna stitch all around, and this time you want to go a little bit closer towards the zipper. So I would say about, this was about 3 millimeters, that was 1/8 of an inch, so let's do 1/4 of an inch this time, which would be like 1/2 centimeter. Okay, there we go. And now we will open this bottom piece. Yeah, come on. And we will flip the whole bag inside out. That's why it's so important to backstitch, so the seams, the stitching doesn't rip. Okay, so once it's inside out, you put the lining inside. We want to make sure everything is stitched out properly, nothing is showing anywhere. Well, I think it's so cute. Okay, that's looking pretty awesome. So now we will okay, you can remove these pins. And now what we will do, if you are happy how it turned out, you don't see any stitching anywhere. So we have nice clean edges all around. We are gonna, again, pull the lining down. You can put clips in to hold it better, and then we will take it to the machine and we are gonna top stitch. And when you are top stitching on this side, just pull them up and just the top stitch right here. Just go all along, all around. Okay, so once we are done top stitching, we will pull out the lining and we are just gonna close the opening. And if you want, you can press it with your hot iron. Okay, you see, we just want to do very edge of the lining, and then we can push it down. Okay, lining done, beautiful. And now let's add the zipper. So let's make sure this is all lined up. Lined up, and okay, we are a little bit off, so let's just cut it right here. So the easiest way is to do it on the table. So you will push a little bit on each side. And then you will pull. And let's see, did it close nicely? Yes, it did. Very well. Little thread. Okay, now we are gonna close the end, and there are a few options. You can either, if you have a piece of fabric, I'm not gonna use this fabric because it's too fluffy, but you can make a little square and you can just put it at the end, or if you have the hardware, then you can use the hardware. So I'm gonna be using the hardware the same as I was using here. It's much easier, it looks a little bit cleaner, but if you don't have the hardware, like I said, you can just use a piece of fabric and make a little square and just cover it up at the end. So I unfortunately don't have the silver one, so I have to use this one. That's okay. Let's cut it a little bit smaller, and usually before I do anything, I like to seal my edge. There, and the zipper as well. Okay, make sure it's not hot. And now I have my end, and you can order these on Amazon. They are not expensive. And you just make a little, you fold it under and under, and let's put this on top. I think this little piece is sticking out as I was melting it. And then you want to push it all the way in as much as you can. Okay, and then we have a tiny little screw, and we are just gonna secure it it has to be nice and smooth. Okay, and that's how it looks. We have a beautiful pouch. So I'm just gonna use a very simple strap. I think she's gonna use it as a pouch, but I want to give her the option. So first of all, when I'm dealing with zippers and straps, I want to seal the edges. Make sure you don't burn the house down. Just a little bit at the end. Okay, and very simple. We will I have a good side and a wrong side. Now we will fold it. Or you can make your own strap too. And the same thing on both sides. Okay, now let's make them the same so they are equal size. That looks better. Okay, now we are gonna take them to the sewing machine and we will try to do a little cross and a rectangle on both sides. Okay, so I managed to do 2 rectangles and 2 squares. So the basic strap is done, nothing fancy. And we can easily clip it in place and she can enjoy it as a purse. So there we have it. That's a pouch slash crossbody bag. They are exactly the same. This one is a little fluffy. And this one is not as structured. I didn't use very strong. This is foam and this is not. This is just fusible fleece. So you can see that it's it still has a structure but not as much as this bag. So it really depends what kind of fabric you use, what kind of interfacing you use. Usually when I use vinyl I don't use any interfacing, so the foam is only in this part. I didn't use any interfacing on the bottom. So this is it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's project and I will see you next week.